Since the turmoil in Egypt began earlier this summer, many countries have issued travel bans to Egypt. Those countries urge their citizens who were already in Egypt to leave as quickly as possible. Those advisories were reissued again this week. Many Western countries are preparing contingency plans for emergency evacuations from Egypt if the security situation in Cairo deteriorates further. But as CCTV's Yasser Hakim reports, many foreign nationals are choosing to stay put.
Asking Father Douglas May why he won't leave Egypt is almost like asking him why he remains a Roman Catholic priest. Like his religion, Egypt is in his soul.
That I'm addicted to, and I use the word addicted. I don't really say I love it because it's hard sometimes with the frustrations to love it. But you know, I smoke, and I very often pull out a pack of cigarettes and say, Egypt is like smoking. It's an addiction, it's not good for your health, but you can't live without it. And I can't live without Egypt. Every time I leave, I go through literal withdrawal.
As a Christian cleric in a predominantly Muslim country, Father May risks injury in the sectarian violence that has pitted Muslim fundamentalists against Egyptian Copts Christians, whose homes and churches were torched by supporters of former President Mohamed Morsi. As the only US-born Catholic priest in Egypt, May faces a potential double jeopardy. Not only does his religion make him a target enmity from angry extremists, his nationality does too. Egyptians remain conflicted in their views of Americans because of Washington's ties to Israel. Father May still refuses to leave Cairo despite the US State Department warnings that Americans should leave.
I'm here to collect information, and then every year or every other year I try to go back to the States and give talks and lectures and TV interviews and get newspaper interviews to try to say what you see on television was completely off.
Despite the bloodshed and the legacy of regional conflict that stretches back more than a century, Father May remains convinced peace can be achieved here.
I believe that somehow people have to learn how to live together. And this is not my country, I'm not Egyptian, this is not my revolution or my uprising. But the big thing is I can be a support to the Egyptian community that I know and say, hang in there, don't quit, keep it up.
American expatriate Barbara COMAR feels the same way about Egypt, though without the religious conviction. Although she is a single woman living alone in Cairo, she continues to give private voice lessons to foreigners. Having a circle of friends here makes her feel safe. She says it's not so dangerous living alone in these circumstances. Many of her friends are still here.
I am not afraid. I've lived here long enough to understand the city, the place, and to know the places to not go where I would feel unsafe. I don't go there. There are terrible things happening, but I'm not in those places where those things are happening. It feels very safe here in Mahdi, like it always has.
As an outside observer, Barbara has her own opinions on the political upheaval she's witnessing around her. She supported the ouster of Egypt's first democratically elected president, Mohamed Morsi, but says the only way to resolve the current crisis is through dialogue. I asked both Douglas and Barbara on what their families think about them staying here.
I've had a couple of questions about it. In particular, my brother was saying that things could happen at any moment and you're not even prepared for it, it just happens. But I've said the same as I said to you. I don't put myself into those situations where it is not safe, and so they do believe me.
Your family, your relatives, friends back in the US, how?
They think I'm nuts.
Yasser Hakim for CCTV, Cairo.